What does it mean to grow up, to discover your dreams, face your fears, and figure out who you are in a world that's always changing? Welcome to Black Destiny, where the journey never truly ends. So grab some popcorn, press play, and join us on this nostalgic adventure, because the moments ahead are worth every second of your time. What's the cost of a perfect life when the price is your soul? Jasmine Guy, just 25, brought Whitley Marion Gilbert-Wayne to life. A woman who seemed to have it all, but deep down had no idea who she really was. Raised in Richmond's upper crust, she knew how to be admired, but never learned how to be understood. She was taught that love should be effortless, that life should be graceful, and that struggle was for other people. But love, real love, doesn't care about social status, and neither does self-discovery. Whitley's story teaches us that identity isn't found in a name, a bank account, or a perfectly rehearsed smile. It's in the choices we make when no one is watching, in the love we fight for, in the risks we take when comfort no longer satisfies. She learned that happiness isn't given, it's built. The question is, when the moment comes to step outside the box you were placed in, will you have the courage to walk away? What if the biggest risk you'll ever take is finally being honest with yourself? At 21, Kadeem Hardison gave us Dwayne Cleophus Wayne, Brooklyn's smoothest nerd. A math whiz with a heart too big for his own good. He was supposed to follow the blueprint, study hard, land the job, settle for what made sense. But what makes sense doesn't always make you. He thought love was a game, a formula, a chase, until he met someone who made him question everything. Dwayne's story isn't just about college or numbers. It's about the terrifying moment when logic and love collide. When the right thing feels wrong and the impossible choice is the only one that matters. He teaches us that playing it cool doesn't mean playing it right. That sometimes the best move isn't calculated, it's felt. So when that moment comes, will you follow the rules? Or will you finally follow your heart? The greatest lessons aren't in the wins, but in the losses that teach you how to win. At just 19, Lisa Bonet gave us Denise Huxtable, a Brooklyn girl with a wild spirit and a wandering heart. She was supposed to have it all figured out, the perfect path laid out before her, but life doesn't come with a syllabus. She was smart but scattered, creative but inconsistent. Money slipped through her fingers. Deadlines were just suggestions, and responsibility, that was someone else's problem. But Denise's story isn't about failure, it's about becoming. She teaches us that mistakes don't define you, but what you learn from them does, that not knowing is part of the journey, and that sometimes the best thing you can do is step off the path you were given and create your own. So when life throws you into the deep end, will you sink, or will you learn how to swim? How do you build a future when your past was all about survival? At just 19, Jada Pinkett Smith gave us Lena James, a Baltimore girl with fists up and walls even higher. She knew how to fight, not just with her hands, but with her will. She was tough because she had to be, sharp because the world didn't give her another choice. But life isn't just about dodging hits, it's about stepping into something bigger. Lena teaches us that growth isn't about forgetting where you came from, but refusing to let it define where you're going. She thought toughness would get her through, but what she really needed was belief. Because strength is one thing, but knowing you deserve more, that's power. The question is, when the door to something greater finally opens, will you have the courage to walk through? Some people go to college to get a degree. Maggie Lauten went to find herself. A military brat used to being the new girl, she walked into Hillman College not knowing what to expect, but knowing she was different. She wasn't here to coast, she wasn't here to blend in, she was here to understand. Being one of the few white students at a predominantly black college meant confronting what she didn't know and learning what she needed to. It meant stepping outside of comfort and into truth. And through it all, she found friendship in Denise Huxtable, discovered her own resilience, and realized that real belonging isn't about background, it's about heart. Marisa Tomei, at just 22, gave her depth, charm, and undeniable presence. Maggie wasn't just the outsider, she was proof that growth happens when you stop watching from the sidelines and start showing up. What happens when your heart is too big for the world you live in? At just 18, Cree gave life to Winifred Freddie Brooks, a soul too big for one cause, one love, one destiny. She had fire in her spirit, flowers in her hair, and dreams too vast for Hillman's walls. She was a poet with ink-stained hands, an activist who believed justice was simple, love was boundless, and the world could be saved with enough heart. But belief is easy, understanding yourself is harder. She trusted too much, loved too recklessly, and searched for answers in every cause, except the one that mattered most, her own identity. Because changing the world starts with knowing who you are. And Freddie, she had to learn that revolutions begin at home, that love isn't just a feeling but a responsibility, and that fighting for something means first standing firm in who you are. Respect, discipline, responsibility. These weren't just words to Colonel Brad Taylor, they were the foundation of success. Rules weren't up for debate in Colonel Brad Taylor's world. A soldier first, a professor second. He ran his classroom like a military unit. Show up on time, do the work, no excuses. Discipline wasn't about punishment. It was about preparation. He knew that in life, the ones who succeed aren't always the smartest, the fastest, or the strongest. They're the ones who refuse to quit. He had seen it firsthand, both on the battlefield and in the classroom. Some students called him Dr. War, but the truth was, he never asked for more than he knew they could give. He didn't accept mediocrity because he understood what was at stake. At 41, Glynn Turman made sure Colonel Taylor was more than just a tough teacher. He was the man who demanded excellence and never let his students settle for anything less, because in Taylor's world, greatness was earned. Some women wait for doors to open. Jaleesa Vinson kicked them down. At 25, she wasn't at Hillman to find herself. She had already done that. She had bills to pay, dreams to chase, and absolutely no time for excuses. She worked, studied, and made ambition look effortless. Love? Sure, she had it. But when love meant shrinking herself to fit someone else's idea of enough, she did what only the strongest women do. She walked away, because settling was never an option. Dawnn Lewis didn't just play Jaleesa, she made her a force. A woman who proved that independence isn't just a choice, it's a statement. A statement that says, I will not wait, I will not beg, I will not break. And when the world asks her to compromise, she smiles, lifts her chin, steps forward, and says, watch me. Vernon Gaines didn't sugarcoat life. He served it up straight, no chaser. A Vietnam vet, a self-made businessman, a man who worked for every damn thing he had. He knew one thing: the world don't owe you nothing. You want something? Get up and earn it. No excuses, no pity, no shortcuts. He built the pit with sweat, not favors, and he expected the same grit from everyone else. When his son fell on hard times and came home, Vernon didn't coddle him. A man don't grow by living off somebody else's table, he'd say. Respect? You worked for it. Success? You bled for it. Lou Myers didn't just play Mr. Gaines, he lived him, gruff, sharp, and unshaken by nonsense. He was the voice of hard-earned wisdom. Some people didn't like what he had to say, but deep down, they knew he was never wrong. When did excellence become a choice? For Kim Reese, it was the only way. Kimberly Reese didn't come to Hillman to play around. She came to win. The daughter of hard-working parents from Columbus, Ohio, she carried more than books on her back. She carried expectations, dreams, and the weight of becoming a doctor. Being an overachiever wasn't a choice, it was a necessity. While others partied, she studied. While others slept in, she worked shifts at the pit and a funeral home. Because success had a price, and she was willing to pay it. When a scholarship threatened her morals, she walked away. Because for Kim, integrity was worth more than a check. Through sleepless nights and relentless pressure, she never folded. Charnele Brown gave her fire, strength, and unshakable purpose. When others doubted, she proved them wrong. When life got hard, she pushed harder, because greatness wasn't given, it was earned. And Kim Reese? She earned everything. Some men lead with words. Walter Oakes led with action. As the dorm director of Matthews Hall and the coach of just about every sport at Hillman, he wasn't just shaping athletes, he was shaping men. He demanded discipline, respect, and heart. Because talent without work ethic meant nothing. His players didn't just run drills, they ran towards greatness. His students didn't just go to class, they learned how to carry themselves in a world that wouldn't always play fair. Walter Oakes wasn't a man who let excuses slide, but he always had time for those willing to put in the effort. And when life knocked you down, he made sure you got back up, faster, stronger, and ready for the next play. David Adkins, better known as Sinbad, gave Walter Oakes more than just jokes. He gave him wisdom, warmth, and the fire of a man who knew that real success starts with showing up. Some people ace tests. Ron Johnson aced life. A businessman before he had a degree, he could sell ice to an Eskimo and make them feel like they got a deal. While others hit the books, Ron hit the hustle, working summers at his father's dealership, charming his way through college, one scheme at a time. 9 semesters? Maybe a little longer than planned. But Ron wasn't built for textbooks. He was built for boardrooms, jazz clubs, and the kind of success that can't be taught. He turned ideas into income, setbacks into setups. And when the world counted him out, he cashed in. A ladies' man? Absolutely. But when he found real love, he didn't run. He built something real. Darrell M. Bell didn't just play Ron. He made him the smooth talker, the dreamer, and the hustler who never stopped believing in himself. From the moment the campus gates opened, a different world captivated us with their stories, struggles and triumphs. Those unforgettable friendships and life-changing moments still echo in our hearts today. If you've walked this journey with us, like, share, and subscribe so we can keep reliving the magic of Cast Then and Now videos. Until next time, stay inspired, stay nostalgic, and keep the memories alive.